Everybody, Jason Burmis here. Now, normally, I do not cover celebritard culture. I also really try not to cover things like The View, which is just another piece of regurgitated mainstream media for simpletons, all right? Let's be honest. It's like the Today Show mixed with MSNBC talking points right now, and the idea that somehow Meghan McCain is a conservative, is just laughable. No, she's an establishment mouthpiece, and so is Whoopi Goldberg, and so is Joy Behar, whether they know it or not. The points that they tried to take Pam Anderson to task on in this latest barrage must be talked about. And the other reason we're talking about it is because it's one of the few times that Julian Assange's name is even whispered in the mainstream media. I want you to think about that. Why is that? So we're actually going to play the entire segment where Assange is mentioned. At first, they try to swipe at her recent relationship that was failed with some... Who cares? It's Pam Anderson. I expect her to sleep with 100 more guys before she dies. It's not my business. It's not my thing. I don't really give a flying rat's ass. That's not what's important. What's important is she's trying to get more eyes on the very real subject that Julian Assange has not only been mistreated, but they've smeared him, and that this is about free speech and exposing corruption and nothing else. And the shit that comes out of Meghan McCain, Whoopi Goldberg, and Joy Behar's mouth is vile and putrid and anti-free speech. That's hate speech, in my opinion. The spin on this nonsense, we're going to take every little piece of it. But the Daily Mail, once again, say what you want about them. They have the best pictures, the best coverage, probably the best 1-minute segment of them shooting in here. And it's shameful. It's shameful that not every single American citizen is crying out, how could we allow this to happen? How, Mr. Trump, when you ran on a campaign of love the WikiLeaks, have you seen the WikiLeaks? Can't get enough of those WikiLeaks. How could you not protect this man? How could you not extradite him to the United States with immunity of prosecution? Please. But instead, he and Chelsea Manning are currently in jail. And there are other headlines out there before we get into the video. No, Roger Waters and John Pilger, who's an amazing journalist, they were out there. Roger Waters, basically singing, Wish You Were Here, Julian Assange. I mean, this is the death of freedom. This is the death of free speech, criminalizing not even hacking something. He hacked nothing. McCain tries to call him a cyber terrorist. He hacked nothing. He hacked zero. Zip, zilch, zero. The one thing I will say is I wish that Pam Anderson being up there, that she would have been able to explain that this really had nothing to do with Russia. If she could have articulated that, it would have been much better. But who knows? This is edited piece. We're not quite sure what got cut in and out, but I can tell you right now it's an edited piece. There's a couple moments where Meghan McCain is clearly edited in their exchange. So Lord knows what the good people at The View decided that you and I weren't allowed to even hear in this conversation. So let's start it off right here, because we're going to be stopping a lot.
There's so many issues that need to be discussed, and just the human condition, our natural way of living. I really blame the Republican Party for most of the issues that we're facing when it comes to climate change, climate deniers, and nuclear war, the threat of nuclear war. So
let's just stop there. I want to say it again. Don't love celebritard culture. Probably not getting behind many issues that Ms. Anderson is for and talking about. I don't blame the Republican Party for jack shit. All right? They're puppets. El Papeto or Pupito. I don't know. I'm not Spanish or Latin, and I'm giving you contrived and hackneyed whatever. But I don't care about the Republican Party. The war machine moves on through both of these people. As you can see, Whoopi Goldberg, big lefty. He hurt a lot of people. Was that his intention? He hurt a lot of people. That's coming up. So I don't have to agree with Pam Anderson. I don't love celebritard culture. But what she says now becomes extremely important. Flick off. Thank you so much for the super chat. Everybody wake up and everybody rise. Take a red pill and open your third eye. See the bigger picture and know what awaits war with no peace and more police states. Genocide Rap, see the bigger picture. I guess that's one of his songs. I know you have been promoting the Genocide Rap. All right, so let's get into this. Let's play it.
You've been such an activist, and let me ask you this: you have a relationship with WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange, and you
I know how to pick him.
You really do. Well, you visited him several times while he was at the Ecuadorian embassy in London. You brought him vegan food. The last time you saw him was in May at the high security British prison, where he's now serving an 11-month sentence and still facing possible extradition to the U.S.
Right.
An 11 months, yeah. You think they're going to let him out in 11 months? Get out of here. Right now, they're getting all their ducks in a row on how to extradite and when to extradite him to the United States. Not to get amnesty, not to be exonerated, but to put that final nail in the coffin of free speech by basically criminalizing somebody who doesn't even live in this country for exposing corruption of this country. That's what this was. You know what it did expose? Whoopi hurt a lot of people. You know who didn't hurt a lot? That it should have hurt probably a bit more? Dennis Hassard and John Podesta and Tony Podesta. Talking about a serial child molester confirmed by a judge. Dennis Hassard, former Speaker of the House, third in line for the presidency. No big deal there. Joking about those allegations, saying old Denny should probably go off on an island somewhere. And fondly remembering how they worked as counselors together back in the day. Yeah, I think that those guys should have suffered a wee bit more for some of the things in there. Just saying. But maybe I'm wrong. Or maybe, there should have been some scrutiny about Hillary Clinton joking about sacrificing a chicken to Moloch in her backyard. Maybe there should have been just no, that hurt some people. Oh, let's not talk about the backdoor deals, the corruption, the using the Russia trope against the Trump administration because it was their weakest point. There's so much in there. Huh? Podesta's business connections, the Podesta Group, all that, hurt a lot of people. Remember when Robert Mueller was talking about possibly indicting Tony Podesta? Whatever happened to that? Oh, you think I'm making that up? You think that Jason Berman? Oh, well, Jason, he wasn't gonna. That's not true. Tony Podesta, Robert Mueller, indictment. Robert Mueller referred lobbyists, including Tony Podesta, to Manhattan prosecutors for possible indictment. That's what that was about. Huh? Hurt a lot of people. Well, we'll find out. So let's get back to Pam here, talking about Assange.
How is he doing?
Well, not so good. As his health has really deteriorated. He's lost about 30 pounds, I think, since I saw him, and he was very thin at that point. He was wearing 2 pairs of sweatpants, trying to be, strong and look good to me, because he always feels like people won't fight for people if they're not resilient, and he is the most resilient person I've ever met. And he everything that's happened to him, he told me was going to happen, so there was no surprises. But
and how could he not know by the point when he meets her, when she's starting to visit him in this Ecuadorian embassy? That's when the rails are really falling off. When he knows that they're going to file some bogus rape charge against him, sexual assault charge, that's so muddied, and of course brought right back up once they get him in jail. Okay? He knows that's going to happen. What choice did he have? This is a political target. Okay?
But it is devastating that people have fallen for this smear campaign, especially in America. I almost feel like an outsider looking in, looking at how America has embraced all these its propaganda.
Yeah, they sure have. America has gone over the top on all this propaganda. We just went through that whole Russiagate scenario where we ended up with a report that was halfway about the possibility of obstruction of justice about a crime that was never committed.
It's really frustrating, but I just hope that he doesn't get extradited. I don't think he'll make it. I think I don't think you're protected in prison. Look at Epstein. I think there's a lot of danger.
Oh, you're not protected in prison. Look at Epstein. She slides that in there. It's a good point. I mean, you're not protected in prison. Look at Epstein. Think about how many names he had. That just gets brushed over. Whoopi's not worried about that. Joy Behar's not worried about that. Meghan McCain, they're not fucking worried about that. It's old poot. It's Russia, Russia, Russia. It's cyber terrorist bullshit. It's let's take away free speech in this country. Makes me sick.
Surrounding his life.
Well, let me ask you, I mean, how did you meet him? Was it political? Was it romantic?
I know, that's funny.
Yeah.
Why me? I know, actually.
See right there, like it seems like might be a little cut there, with the romance thing.
He's really incredible how he just loves to look at people and see different ways of thinking. He was always asking me questions. How do you see the world? What do you think we should do? What can you bring to the table? What is your passion? He was always very passionate and very encouraging of my activism. And I never felt different than anybody else in the room. And there were lawyers and, the Noam Chomskys and the John Pilgers and the people. I never felt any less than anybody else. So he really inspired me a lot. And
as an activist?
As an activist. And that's why I met him. I wanted to know how to be a more effective activist. And I write a lot of blogs and poetry on my website, and I put his name in one of them. And the first thing he asked me is like, why did you write about me?
By the way, yeah, I'm pretty sure she slept with him. Let's get that out of the way. I don't think that's a question. I don't think that matters. I think a lot of the women that have gone and visited Julian Assange have slept with him. So what? So fucking what? He's a human being. My God. He's already been holed up in a room for how many years?
How does he know? He knows everything. He knows everything that anytime anyone mentions him. He's not stupid.
Yeah.
No, he know that. He's an.
Look how concerned Joy is. He's not stupid. Russia, Trump.
Interesting guy. I mean, he's obviously ruffled the feathers of some very powerful people, and powerful people want to keep him quiet.
All right, so now we're going to get to the Meghan McCain portion of this. This is where it really ramps up. This is where, we'll just...
When you were visiting him, he was allegedly kicked out of the Ecuadorian embassy because he was defecating everywhere and creating messes.
No, well, that's a snare.
See, right there, I want to punch her. I'm a man. I would never punch a woman. Put me in the shoes of Pamela Anderson right there. And you start off with him, they kicked him out of Ecuador because he was defecating all over the walls. He kicked him out of Ecuador because he was defecating all over the walls. Does anyone fucking believe that? I mean, come on. It would be hard for me not to throw that right hand if I was Pamela Anderson. I'm not advocating for that. I'm not telling anybody that when they see Meghan McCain to go punch her. I'm not a punch a Nazi campaigner, etc., etc., etc. But think about what she just said. The guy that's probably published the most important documents that we've seen, other than maybe Edward Snowden, right? That prove beyond a reasonable doubt how fucked up and corrupt our system are. He's the guy that he got kicked out because he was defecating all over the walls. I mean, what horrible line of propaganda bullshit are we allowing on The View, ABC? Oh, that's right. They're the CIA, Pentagon, NSA established talking points. So talk on.
And campaign, that's not true.
There was video of things that happened. I don't.
What would you do if you were locked in a room for
really quick
6 years?
Well, I wouldn't be a cyber terrorist, which he is.
I wouldn't be a cyber terrorist, which he is. Now, I'm not saying. I'm saying to be tough, guys, right? I mean, my God. Talking point 2. Defecating on walls, disgusting things, cyber terrorists. Here we go.
He hacked information. His leaks included classified documents that put our national security at risk.
No, it didn't put our national security at risk. No, it didn't. No, it put some of the monsters in the military-industrial complex that are killing innocent women, babies, children, men, people across the world. You fucking lying bitch.
Military.
You know who
and the
put
lives
national
of
security
spies
at risk
and diplomats
is the
at risk.
military. How many people have
The military,
American
so-
government killed innocently, and how many has WikiLeaks
So
killed?
you think
Please tell me. Doesn't want to answer that question. How many people has WikiLeaks killed? But how many innocent people are our U.S. government and policies responsible for this fucking week? In Yemen alone. Let's just look at the number in Yemen. I would imagine it's pretty considerable. Okay? It's more than WikiLeaks caused this week. I can promise you that. Or ever. I
think the military is putting the government at risk. The military has put many innocent lives at risk.
Oh, calm down, sir.
I mean, unbelievable. They cheer her on because she's telling, oh, calm down, sir. Oh, calm down. I hate free speech. I hate it when the military and the unbelievably great leaders behind this country that love to bomb brown people all across the world and lie to us American people about it while they encroach a police state on us. I love them. How dare you applaud her? I love them.
I'm actually genuinely curious about your relationship with him.
Yeah, war crimes need to be punished, and they haven't. The war crimes that he's exposed, no one's done anything about it. But they put him in jail to shut him up.
Are you talking about the 210 video of the helicopter fire?
The only woman.
So you think the military is putting the government at risk?
The military has put many innocent lives at risk. And how many need to be anything about it?
Fire killing civilians in Iraq?
Yeah, well,
that woman is the only woman that actually, this one right here, she's the only one that even knows what she's talking about.
One thing, but there's so many other things that he's exposed. And it's not just America he's exposed. He's exposed Russia. He's exposed all sorts of different countries.
That's a controversial area, Russia.
No, it's not really a controversial fucking area. He has exposed the oligarchs in Russia. Okay? Joy? You have no idea what you're talking about. And here we go. Here comes the Russia propaganda.
A lot of people say that, that as does the Mueller report, that Assange interfered in the 2016 election by conspiring with Russia by releasing hacked emails, which hurt Hillary Clinton.
Number one, never proved they were hacked. Read the report. Number two, barely spent a page on Seth Rich and then accused Assange of promoting conspiracy theories about Seth Rich because they couldn't prove that Russia did anything. 3, never interviewed Julian Assange at all. What are you talking about, Joy Behar? Oh, this is really angry.
It's almost like, is he responsible for giving us Trump? I mean, his timing and the way
the timing, but Hillary Clinton is responsible for Trump. She's the one that
because why is he
but
a
it's
Trump
true information.
Why the timing? Why?
A lot of people think
why would he help Trump?
Well, he wasn't helping Trump. He was trying to tell the American people true information that Hillary Clinton was doing, so they could make an educated choice. And I think FBI kind of put the nail in that coffin.
But do you mean to tell me that he had nothing?
And there look, she told the truth right there too. I think the FBI kind of put the nail in that coffin when they were trying to tell the truth, and they absolutely did. Come on.
Nothing on Trump? Come on. And that didn't get released.
I don't know. If he had something on Trump, he would have put it out there.
And also that
he had to
released her emails. I mean, the question I have though is
emails.
what would you say to? I know, but that doesn't mean everything should be. The question I have though.
See right there. See how they cut that? Well, that doesn't mean that everything, and then they cut that out. So again, this is an edited piece. Who knows what else they cut out on ABC?
Was like spies that go out and put their lives at risk, like Congressman Will Hurd, who we were just talking about, who's dedicated, decades of his life to helping fight terrorism. Classified information, I believe, is classified for a reason. I do have some faith in the U.S. government, although as a conservative, I have less faith normally than liberals do.
Again, let's make it a left-right issue, because that's what I'm here to do. I'm pushing out all sorts of talking points. I'm going to try to be divisive right here on top of it, right? I'm going to take a swipe at liberalism. I have faith in my government. A little more than the liberals do, but, listen, you shouldn't have any faith in this government. It's disgusting.
So what would you say to the spies who are putting themselves at risk for our national security with your relationship with him?
Well, I don't think there's nothing proven that he's actually put anybody at risk.
He hasn't.
They've gone through this over and over again, and I think that people like Edward Snowden, Chelsea Manning are heroes, and Julian Assange is a publisher.
Putin also thinks that.
He is a publisher.
But also, Pam,
Putin also thinks about that. You see, Putin. Let's throw the Pootster in there. Putin, Russia. And again, we've already seen Joy Behar. I think this is where Whoopi Goldberg gets involved, and she's disgraceful.
He put people in danger by refusing to redact sensitive information, including Social Security numbers and other private material.
Well, I think the New York Times and everybody else put out the same information. I think they actually put it out even before him. I think he redacted more than they did. So it's a big thing. I think true information is true information. And I think that, he's obviously... He's gone where no man has gone before, so I guess we're putting him. He's the man in the whale's mouth. He's trying to set up it so other people can make sense of it, because it's a new thing. It's a new thing. We're used to business as usual.
Yeah. Not only are we used to business as usual, we used to have free speech in this country. We used to have people on television that would have been appalled at what we're doing to Julian Assange. We have a president of the United States that acted like he was the best thing since breakfast on the way into office. And then in office, he's been utterly silent. I don't know much about those WikiLeaks. Don't know much about them.
What I'd love to know is what was he trying to do? What was his point? Because he actually did hurt quite a few people. He actually did.
Oh.
And I want to know, what did he think he was doing? What was the outcome in his mind supposed to be?
Well, obviously, there's other people probably could speak better for him than me, but he just believes in justice, believes in honesty, believes in exposing governments for what they're really doing, and people have the right to know what is happening. And there's so many awful war crimes that need to be exposed that, he really, his whole intention is to stop these senseless wars. War is a business. It does.
Yeah, stop the senseless wars. War is a business. The people have a right to know. We shouldn't be treated like children and lied to on a constant basis on behalf of that war machine. And we should have freedom of speech, and we should be protected when we expose that corruption. And not only that, when we expose the corruption, like those emails did, some people should have went to fucking jail.
Doesn't help.
And not Assange, by the way, okay? The other people.
Us. It doesn't help anybody. And I think he really... A lot of people, being in France, being in Canada, aren't too happy with America and how they meddle into everybody's business and start all these senseless wars.
But he's meddling in everybody's business, too.
Well, he's exposing, but he's not saying his opinion. He's giving the information.
I get that.
But you would be, he's a publisher.
I get that you consider him a whistleblower.
Well, he's a publisher.
Yes!
So dangerous.
Yeah. But he's a publisher, and he's a supports whistleblowers.
He's certainly stirred up a lot in this country.
Well,
He's a cyber terrorist. I'll say it.
The Republican Party
won. It's ridiculous. I'm not going to stand by.
I mean, someone just, I'm not, listen, I don't take on people's looks. It's whatever. But she's ugly on the inside. He's a cyber terrorist. He's a cyber terrorist. Guys, I'm doing it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times a day. Please thumbs this video up. Share it with others. If you're not subscribed, join the Burmese Brigade. We do a lot more than that. We do deep dives into documents. We are at the forefront of Epstein, Nexium, and so much more. We've been breaking out some 9/11 stuff recently. I got a couple premieres set for tomorrow. I think we might even set up a couple more of those, be on the road, but we'll definitely try to do some kind of a broadcast on the road as well. And I'm doing it with your help. So if you can support me $5, $10, $15, this is how we do it. I don't have a Patreon. I don't have a Subscribe Star. I don't pander to conservatives or liberals, the left, the right, Republicans, Democrats. That's not what it's about. That's not what Julian Assange is about. It's about right and wrong and exposing the predator class. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much. And I will see you on the flip side.